Hey everybody, this is Joe Payne, Political Pain. We got a little bit of different format here today. I'm kind of messing around with my webcam and different uh, um, software and stuff, just trying to get used to this whole YouTube thing. Today I want to talk about, it's a little informal, but I want to talk about Michael Brooks and his passing on Monday. At first I thought, why should I even get to say anything about this giant of the YouTube progressive media sphere? I literally just started my channel earlier this year in March. I have 50 followers, but my 50th follower, Dorothy, hi Dorothy, asked if I would make a video about him. And honestly, at first I thought I wouldn't be able to get through one. Um, I've shed a lot of tears. It's now Friday. He passed away. We got news that he passed away on Monday, and it's hard to impress someone who you listen to every day just about, and hear their voice, and get their understanding, and they make you laugh. Michael Brooks, everybody's talking about how much he made them laugh with his great impressions, which I love to do impressions, so I was a big fan of his. I would study his impressions. Basically stole his Obama impression because it's so good. But also, he spoke with such clarity about so many things that I had wondered about, or not just wondered, that I struggled to, speak clearly about. If you're on the left, in America, it's so easy to just fall into these arguments. You hear all the same talking points from the right and from conservatives, that it's really easy to just have it set up where you know what they're going to say, so you come up with your rebuttal. And you point out the hypocrisy of it. That never matters. That never matters to them. If you point out that they're being hypocritical, that's just part of the game, and that they are playing a game. And Michael Brooks saw through all of that, man. He cut through the noise. I've never seen anybody who could cut through the noise and amplify the signal so much as he did. And I do feel like he taught a lot of people how to be better leftists, and what it really means to be on the left. Um, he was just such a brilliant mind, encyclopedic, could tell you about just about every, rights movement across the world, workers' rights, human rights, and he stood up for it. He stood up for, so many of us learned about Lula da Silva in Brazil through him. We learned about the atrocities of Modi in India, and we really got a true scope of the right wing takeover that's happened across the world in 2016, after and just before, of course. But he spoke with such clarity and such precision, and I have to admit, he's a big inspiration of why I started this channel. Like, why? I mean, I always kind of let mental blocks get in the way. Why would anybody care what I had to say, type of thing. And and especially if you watch Michael Brooks, you're gonna be like, well, I'm not qualified to do what he does, because nobody's read as much as him. I hate to have to even put it in past tense. Nobody read as much as him. Nobody knew as much as him. And like I said, could see through the arguments, could have the clarity that he had, that you feel inadequate. But something that I saw so many of his friends, people he interacted with, in whether it was in the media sphere or just his friends, that spoke out either on the 4-hour stream that they did on Majority Report, which I'm a huge fan of. Everybody should watch the Majority Report just for your sanity. But also, other friends on other streams talking about how giving he was of, and generous, not just with his time, but with his encouragement of people who were just starting out, maybe were feeling burnt out. Like, I have to admit, I go through inner turmoil just to set up my camera and do each video. And I labor over making sure my facts are straight, and I have all my ducks in a row, and I make excuses, and I put things in front of me to, to not, it's just part of my procrastination. Um, but I think I just saw, I mean, I was there for Michael's first episode of TMBS, and I just thought, and I'd seen him on the Majority Report for quite some time before that. And I was just impressed by how he just went for it. And, it's incredible, like what he built in such a short amount of time. And like I said, I have shed a lot of tears over this. I mean, it hit me like a loss of a friend. And when you realize somebody who you listen to every day, that their voice is in your head, and you can almost think, what would they think about this, right? I mean, he was that, and it's really incredible to see how many people were knew about Michael, and were aware of him and looked to him. And I think so much of what he said was important, just about having clarity on the left, being united on the left, not falling into sniping and infighting and just tearing each other down, except Dave Rubin, of course. And I even have friends, honestly, I have friends where I'd go back and forth with them because they got kind of hooked into the IDW world. And, a bit about myself. I was a Sam Harris fan years ago. But I think 2016 was like a wake up call, or not even 2016, 2015, everything building up to 2016 really made me reassess and think differently. It might have been as soon as 2014 if I think about it. And I'm an atheist, so I really got like into the whole new atheism and that crowd. I found myself, being one of those Sam Harris defenders, and why is everybody just believing his rap that everything's in bad faith and the left. I'd always been on the left, so I wondered what, I had to step back and reassess. And it was through discussions with a lot of my friends, or not a lot of my friends, but the few friends of mine who follow this stuff and are into this stuff. That's the other thing. You can talk about Jordan Peterson and Mike and Dave Rubin and all these people that Michael would lampoon, to just, this cross section of internet people who are on the internet interested in politics. But you go talk to a regular person, they're just like, who? They have no idea who you're talking about. They don't know about anything about that. But I found Michael, I believe, just by literally typing into YouTube Sam Harris criticism, because I just wanted to hear another opinion, and I feel like he freed my mind from reactionary nonsense, really. And this is before the whole IDW became a thing, and I could just see through it all. I could, Michael gave me the toolkit to see through all that nonsense, and he did it with humor. He made me laugh. He did it with intellectual rigor, which you don't see that all the time, especially on YouTube. Where characters like Jimmy Dore and Tim Pool, they're just speaking from the gut or whatever. They're not really doing any work or any reading like Michael did. And so that it was formative for me when I was really getting back into politics and realizing, something's happening, right? This right-wing movement across the world, fostered by so much instability in our systems, so much anger and hatred, the scapegoating, the racial politics, and the white identity politics, basically. There's all this outcry about the left and how they endlessly play identity politics with no critical assessment of how the right plays and always has played identity politics. Michael was doing that, and he spoke about it so concisely and so intelligently, and then would make you laugh on top of it with an hilarious impression or whatever else. We're at a tremendous loss. This is tragic, and it's really awesome to see the support, to see the outpouring of love for him, and it makes me feel not so alone in this. You feel when you're focusing on politics on the internet, you can feel siloed, and it's hard. The community feels a little plastic, but this is the most real thing I've ever seen online. Just all the people expressing their love and support for him. Um, go buy his book. I did. There's always an excuse to not buy it or not be a patron, not be a member, and all of that stuff. But let's do what Michael did. Let's follow his example. Let's support people that need support. I bought his book, bought it through Red Emma's. I didn't buy it through Amazon because I know he wouldn't have wanted me to. Red Emma's is an independent bookstore. So, check that out. Really, and I'm going to try to follow his example of doing the work, doing the reading. And, I do have more of a reporter's background, on the ground, print journalism. But he inspired me to do my own project and speak the truth, speak my mind. And this is part of a larger tradition of journalism where there's so much slanted establishment, big money journalism clouded by right-wing talking points that are funneled in, basically from like a manufacturing center that is, the right-wing think tank media sphere that, he inspired me to pick up the sword and shield, being the pen and the page, and working against that, speaking the truth. So that's what I owe to Michael Brooks. My heart goes out to the Majority Report folks, Sam, Matt, David, Jamie, everybody, his sister, his friends, Ben Burgess, everybody. I know how hard it's been for me. I can't imagine what you guys are going through. So hang in there. Let's continue Michael's mission and make this world a better place for everybody, for working people, and end just the immoral, attacks on the working class, on working people, and let's build a society that works better for everybody. So I could say more, but that's all I'm going to say today, folks. Thank you so much. Yeah, Michael Brooks, we lost a really important person. So let's hang in there and stay together and stay informed, as Michael would have wanted us to. So thanks again, everybody.